So, what's your full name and what do you do?
Michael Hill. I practice exclusively in nursing home abuse law. That includes assisted living facilities, and I try cases across the country.
All right. Everybody's asking about the $26 million verdict. Can you tell me more about how strategic played a role in this?
I met Paul Luttrell at a coffee shop. He was in the Ohio area, and I had known of Strategic. I had known of Paul Luttrell. We had considered using him, but never felt that the need was there. And I was getting close to trial, and I met with Paul and said, "Look, here's my situation. I've got trial in 2 months." It was a case that was handed to me, and I need to dig into the evidence now. I don't have time for traditional discovery. And Paul, being who he was with a big smile on his face, says, "We'll do that for you. Here's our model. Answer these 4 questions, we'll have it to you." And I would estimate that probably within a few days or maybe a week, I had an EEL or an ex-employee list of probably about 40 ex-employees. And then within probably another week, I had the interviews of those folks. And it was based on those interviews itself that really was the trial. It was no longer about the records. It was no longer about the discovery I had or didn't have. It was about what the real people who were involved, the insiders, had to say. And at trial, what was revealed is that one, they had inside information. Two, they had information that was relatively unimpeachable. I think about ex-employees almost like you would think about star reviews. If you're on Amazon or you're on anything else, one is pretty good, but you can break it down and you can say, well, maybe they're a disgruntled employee. Well, maybe whatever. You see, two is a little bit more power in that. But when you get to 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7, you've won. Nobody's going to say, oh, they all coordinated their stories like that. That's how I think about ex-employees now. And there are very few cases that I investigate without Strategic's involvement at this point. I would say right now, probably 8 to 10 cases in my office that are in litigation Strategic is involved in.
What would you say to someone considering using our services?
I would tell them it's malpractice not to.
What would you say to someone who's concerned about the price?
The price pays for itself. I can say firsthand, and I've told this to anyone who will listen, I've said it on national seminars and webinars, that there are certainly times where I've used Strategic where it may be a $30,000 investment, but it may be a $10 million return on that investment.
So you would say that our service is worth the money?
I would go beyond that. I would say the service not only pays for itself, it pays for itself in dividends.
Is there anything you'd like to add?
The only thing that I would like to add is that for any person who requires any kind of former employees, and I think that that is probably far beyond what most people think. I think if you're looking at probably any field, any kind of area of law you practice, ex-employees are more important than you might take into consideration. In the nursing home field, I've used ex-employees, for example, who may have never even had any involvement with my client. They may have had no involvement even in the year that my client was there or the months my client was there, but you're building evidence and you're stacking evidence. And I think that's true if you have a trucking case or a medical malpractice case or a security case or anything else. There's evidence out there that you currently don't have, and you have a service at your disposal who will get that for you, vet that to you with very minimal time and monetary investment from you. And if you're not doing that, I think you're selling your clients short, and I think you're selling yourself short.
Sweet. Thanks, Michael.
You are very welcome.